Alright, hey friends, this is part 3 of the audio tutorial. So I have my composition in After Effects. I'm going to put in a video, so we have my flame again, drop that in there, and then I'm going to import my music. So just this test audio that we exported from Audacity. So I'm just going to line those two up. And theoretically, if you've edited your audio outside of After Effects, you won't have to do any editing inside After Effects. So if you've lined everything up in Premiere, or you've cut your track in Audacity so you have it fading in and out, you essentially should just be able to drop the audio in under your animation and export that out as is. Remember, this golden kind of selection area is what's going to export. So a lot of you, for your tests, have been working in 3 seconds here and then forgetting to move this across so that you only actually export 3 seconds. Make sure that you do move this to maybe 15 if you're looking at the shortest animation, or leave it at 20 for the longest, just so you are actually exporting out that full animation. So I have these two, and you know how to export now. We go to File, Export, and you can add that to your render queue, or we can go to Composition, Add to Render Queue, and you can also be exporting outside of After Effects with Adobe Media Encoder. So they are the two ways of exporting. But I just want to do a little bit more in terms of audio and how you can actually start to edit or change this around if you needed to do that in After Effects. So when you have a solely audio file and you drop down these menus, you see you can get an animation option on the audio levels, which again is how loud or quiet the piece is. So if you find that one of these is like going out of control, you can kind of animate those properties. So you see if I turn that on, it gives you those keyframes, and you can maybe head over and make that a bit louder. Same principle as in Audacity. If you watch part 1 of this tutorial, these lines, if they hit the top of this box, that's going to make some distortion and your audio is going to be very loud. So just make sure that you have those levels at a suitable volume so that you're not deafening everyone, essentially, because you don't want that distortion to happen to your work. So you have the option of seeing the waveform again with this drop down button. But that's really all that we can animate inherently on this timeline. To get more audio options, we're going to need to go to our Effects and Presets panel and drop the audio button down, and you can see that we have a few things to play with, but definitely not as much as in Premiere or in Audacity. And that's because After Effects is essentially when after you've done all of the basic editing, you come in just to add a few things on top. So it's really not a straight out audio editing program. But we do have a few cool things, so we can add a backwards effect to our audio. Sorry, I need to drag that onto my actual clip. And then you see we have an effects tab and we can look at backwards. So this at the moment is playing all of this backwards. So you can maybe cut up your audio and play that. But you'll notice when I press spacebar we can't hear anything. So that is the other thing about After Effects, is that you need to RAM preview, which is over on your preview tab, and it's this little fast forward play button. So when you RAM preview, it's going to basically pre-render everything, and it can take a really long time depending on how long your animation is or how many effects you have. As soon as it finishes rendering, you can hear that it's playing my audio and it's playing it backwards because we have that effect on. So that sounds kind of cool. The other option is if you wanted to RAM preview just a little bit and you don't want it to wait for everything to work, everything to render, you can use the selection area as sort of like a little RAM preview selection. So you can select with this little golden bar, and you can actually hit RAM preview, and then it will just RAM preview this little area and loop it for you. So you can start to listen to little parts of your animation if you can't be bothered to sit through waiting for everything to render and RAM preview for you. So I mean, that's essentially the basics. You have the audio levels which you can use to create sort of a faux fade in and out. You can sort of bring that right down to -48, and then at 1 second bring that to 0, and you can see how we have silence, and as we RAM preview this, we should hear that. So that sort of fades in there. You can hear that we've got a long silence, and then it fades in. The shortcut for RAM preview on PCs anyway is 0, if that helps any of you out. So, you know, those are the basic tools in After Effects, which is why we give you these options to edit audio in different programs before you bring it in, because there's not a whole lot you can do in After Effects, but it is really great for the visual side of things. So I hope this has given you a few different options. Again, part 1 is Audacity, part 2 Premiere Pro, and this is part 3 in After Effects. And your final exporting, again, remember to select with this golden area the bit you want to export, add that to Media Encoder or the render queue, and when you are exporting in your settings, just make sure you're clicking this audio output button in CS6, or again turning it to audio on in CC instead of leaving it at audio auto, because you just want to make sure that it is actually picking that up. There are a few options in terms of audio, but you can see that it sort of matches our settings from Premiere. You want to leave it uncompressed, that'll give you the best quality, and make sure that your audio is no less than sort of 48-44 Hertz, because that again is going to give you a good quality audio without too much compression. So I hope that helps, and yeah, sorry for being sick. I hope this wasn't too annoying.